Yo, it is so good to be back. What's up, Sojourners? This is Obey, your host. Welcome back to the Podyssey. I have missed you guys, and I've got a really good one today. So today's podcast is going to be basically, I guess we would call it Elder Millennials. I'm going to steal Elijah Schlesinger's Netflix special. Go check it out. I just thought it was a really funny title, and I think this is kind of like the topic of today. I invited three of my really, really good friends to kind of just talk about a various amount of topics. So first, let's do some introductions. So, Freddie Mac, go ahead.
Yo, I'm Freddie Mac, Roanoke, Virginia. Born and raised in Maryland, though. I still got my 301 area.
Never forget.
Let them know.
Never forget.
Let them know.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's it? That's all?
That's it.
You got a laundry list. Tell them who you is.
Your resume's too long. You ain't got to tell it.
Well, you Freddie Mac. That's who you is.
That'll do.
Yeah.
That's
That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Well, I'll give my resume since I ain't nobody. All right. My name's Gabe, a.k.a. G-Baby. Wedding DJ, mogul, entrepreneur. I have a photo booth. I have a sock business.
He already said mogul.
It's everything. I gotta encompass it. I gotta tell them what those things are. You gotta speak it into existence. That's who I am. Also, my personal account, Slim and Sensation. That's my alter ego. But yeah, that's who I am.
All right, Josh Pugh, JP Pugh, whatever. A few months ago, it would be recruitment department, Liberty University, but felt God calling me to full-time ministry. So I am at Bedrock Community Church, working in the student ministry there, loving it.
What are the times of the services? You tell us. Yeah.
We got 9:15 for the early birds. That's where I'm at.
That's not bad.
Yeah, you know, and 9:15 too early for me.
You at 11 o'clock.
11? That's even better.
That's the perfect one.
Yeah.
That's 11.
I like that.
Yeah, come through.
That.
So our first topic today, I wanted to do is forging your own path. So each of us here have kind of, since leaving high school and then leaving college, have chosen different paths, different things. And I just kind of want to let, the Sojourners, the fans of this podcast, to kind of just listen in on like the journey it's been for each of us, So for you, anyone that wants to jump in, like, how's it been since you left college, not high school, college, and that journey till now? Because I feel like, the title of this is Elder Millennials, and we're now getting closer to 30, and, some of us, actually all three of y'all are married, I'm not, and so.
Sorry, she coming. You know how I feel about it. I ain't gonna put you on blast.
Your blessing is on your way, on its way.
That's right.
Amen.
Yeah.
So like, as you guys have been forging your
Season
path.
2 of the Podyssey.
Yeah. Are we on? What season?
Season what?
All right.
So, what has been some things you thought going in, and then you were like, "Wow, this is way different than what I thought."
Well, for one, I thought my degree would mean more. That's a fact.
Preach.
And that's after a bachelor's and a master's.
Yeah.
And I feel like, for one, I mean, like I've obviously dabbled in things that were particular to my degree, more or less. Like, it kind of encompassed what I had been doing already, not necessarily like what my degree was in, but I had experience in certain things. So other jobs opened up based off of what I've been doing, but some of it, more or less, like some of it's been dabbling into, what I've been familiar with. But like my main goal is to be an entrepreneur and businessman. Yeah. And it had nothing to do with my degree at all. And I didn't need a degree to do any of those things. Like, so I think.
But why did you go on that path, Gabe? Like, how like, sometimes I don't think we ever think back to like, what made me think I gotta do this?
Yeah.
And then eventually you just realize yourself, like,
I mean, I feel like we've always been told, like, you gotta go to college, you gotta get a degree.
What's the safe play?
Yeah, it's a safe play. So, but I mean, some people will say, like, this is the way to millennial. Like, they think this way, and you have to have a job or be in a job that you're passionate about in order to do that job. Like, back in the day, like, you got all the old heads tell us, man, back in the day we do a job because it was a job and it paid the bills. Like, it's a new era, like a new generation of businessmen, of entrepreneurs, of people, So it's kind of like I don't have that calling necessarily. Like, my calling is to be in something that I'm really passionate about, or be involved in something that I'm really passionate about.
That's right.
So like, just turned out where like it just clicked for me a little bit after college. I was like, man, like I don't want to work for somebody my whole life. Like, I don't want to check in, clock out my whole life. I want to be my own man, like be my own businessman, So I don't know. that was, rude awakening
good.
after college.
Yeah, it can be different for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm one of those. I tell a lot of people this because I'm one of those weird people who knew what they wanted to do forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
That's a rare. That's a rare because it's not. That wasn't
different.
even me. Yeah.
Not everybody, and I want to do
tough.
all. I like to do all the same things Gabe does. I got a business, a DJ business. I'm an MC. I'm a business owner, and that means a lot to me. Obviously, I'm very passionate about that. I don't want to be working for someone else my entire life either. I want to be able to work on my own, have my own, own my own. And but I had this media thing with radio and TV. It was always what I wanted to do. So like back to the elementary school, I went to a magnet program and they have like all these special the magnet school and they have all these special programs for different clubs after
Did
school.
you have the
Science
voice back
club.
then? Yeah, the
I don't know. I'm not sure.
That
The
nice
register?
deep baritone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I'm not even sure, but I just knew that was something that interests me. Video. So initially going into college was, I want to be on ESPN. I want to be on TV. But that quickly changed into audio or just more radio. And got an internship, so on and so on. And up until, 2015 when I got hired full time in radio, I had worked a couple of, I want to call them odd jobs, but I feel like they all had something to do with my preparation for what I'm doing and where I'm going.
Right.
So call centers and retail and all that kind of stuff, while I still had my eye on the prize.
You were still exercising the voice. Nothing was wasted along the journey.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? I don't know if it really occurred to me as until now.
It never
as
does.
far as like using your voice and the customer service aspect of all of that, you are using your voice talking to people in a call center, obviously. So,
question for you, Freddie Mac, did you follow at all Charlamagne the God, or were you like, yo, I want to produce, the next Breakfast Club? Was that ever like a thing for you in radio? Or what was your lane where you were like, because maybe when you were looking at ESPN, you saw Stuart Scott,
right?
But when you got into radio, who were you looking to as like, that's the thing, is like the comparison game comes in so quick.
Yeah.
And that was something that's hard for me.
Yeah, it's hard to stay away from that. But I think remaining focused. I never wanted to be like anybody else. Yeah. Now I can aspire or model my career. I was talking to somebody about this earlier today. I can model my career after one or two or a bunch of different people and admire their story and their journey and everything as I do. However, I still want to be just me. Yeah. I want to be like I want to be the only version or the best version of myself. Yeah. And so I admire Charlamagne. I love his story. I've read both his books. I listen to his podcast every week. You know, I read Elvis Duran's book, Angie Martinez, all these people I look at as radio moguls, media moguls, Ryan Seacrest. And I still do. I tell people I want to be the black Freddie Mac version of Ryan Seacrest.
That's right. Come on, speak it into existence.
That's just what I want to do. I want to do radio and TV, and I'm doing a little bit of that now. Thanks. I'm thankful to be doing that. But I want to be myself. I want to remain grounded like in myself and doing my own thing, doing it my way, and not trying to be like somebody else or someone that's come before me. Right. But still model and take advice and all those things.
To keep that authenticity is hard throughout the journey.
Oh, yeah.
But you quickly realize that authenticity is what is going to give you that purpose, that joy, and also keep making you money.
It's going to sustain you.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I think that, we went through our journeys sometimes, and we forgot that, the reason people came, the reason people bought in was because they liked, G Baby, the DJ.
Yeah. They like you, Freddie Mac. They like you for you. They don't like me.
Right.
For Charlamagne, if that makes any sense.
Right. They already got Charlamagne.
Something about me attracts them to me, and I'm grateful and I'm glad to be doing. I'm humbled by that and everything. But yeah, being yourself in whatever field you're in, whatever it is that you're doing, that is how you win. That is how you succeed, and that's different to everybody. Success and all those things. It could mean money to one person and something totally different to the next. But you could feel good about yourself and feel successful in your own right by doing it your way. Being yourself,
I look at this table and I see 4 guys that were all comms guys, and I'm kind of wondering, each of y'all, what drew y'all to communications? I know for me it was I just love people. I wanted to invest in people, and communicating a message in a creative way was a really big draw for me. Because kind of like Freddie Mac, I started watching ESPN, and I want to be a journalist, sports journalist. And I might have fell into the trap of the safe play of, newspapers are going out the window, so that's half your jobs, Josh. You really want to go into journalism? Like, I heard that from a guidance counselor.
Yeah.
So I transitioned to communications and got advertising and public relations, and I loved it. But there's this thing in the back of my mind is like, what if I would have stuck with it? What would have happened?
Sure.
But ultimately, for me, it was, I want to invest in people and being able to communicate a message creatively and effectively. That's the biggest draw for me. And that's what, kind of what drew me into ministries, because the biggest message I want to communicate is the gospel. And how can we do that creatively and effectively? But for each of y'all, what kind of drew y'all into the communication field? I know Freddie Mac kind of spoke on that, but just going a little deeper into communications, because it's a wide-reaching, wide-arching degree. It's a catch-all, really.
It really is. I mean, like, I guess like for me, it really started off as something that I love. I love people in general. Like, it's everything. To me, like I guess like personal, like the little dabble of personal life, like friends were like some of the most important thing in my life. Like growing up, like being, at least where I'm from, like friends were family. So like being involved with people, like was a deeper element to me. So to me, but when it started off, communications wasn't necessarily like, all right, this is something that like I knew I can use my people's, or what I can use my people skills with, as far as what it equates to a degree in. I already knew I communicate and relate to people. Like communication is just like that validation to somebody else that I can do that, So that's how it started. Yeah, that's what they call it. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like I knew I was the best at it. It was just like, it was a degree that went along with something that I love to do anyways. Right. And then it formulated obviously into something else. Like it didn't necessarily end like per se the communications field, like, but I'm working with people like on a day-to-day basis, and that's like the best thing, So
yeah,
I mean, that's kind of.
I think mine was a little bit different because I've always been someone that felt like I could have went so many different paths, and I struggled with just picking one thing. And I went into college, kind of like how Gabe was talking about earlier, just felt like I had to be there. So I just went with business because I was like, oh, that seems like a good starting place. And I just remember sitting in classes just hating. Like, I mean, I'm not someone that likes to quit things, and I was like, man, maybe college ain't for me. Like, I really was thinking that, and I didn't know how to bring it to my dad. And I remember taking a communications elective class, and sometimes the right people, like your counselor that came to you, come into your life, and they just change everything. And so for me, it was like, yo, wait, like I'm taking this class. This professor's really dope. And this communications class is like really, really dope. Like we're sitting in a circle, we're having deep conversations, we're challenging our vocabulary, we're challenging our diction, we're challenging ourselves to be better with communication. It was just a basic, speech class. And I just was blown away by it. And I thought, what is comms? And I just looked into it, did my research, and then I felt like this, if I was gonna spend money, and in hindsight, I probably
right. I'm gonna spend my dollars. I'm gonna spend my dollars.
Thinking back, I still would have done it now.
Fact.
But if I was gonna spend $100,000,
we'll come back to that too. Right. We gotta come back to that. Would we have spent them dollars?
No, let's do it right now. Let's do it right now because I know for myself, comms was the most worth it, but definitely was overpriced.
You telling me Dr. Allison's class, who I'm gonna say this up right
so
here.
You gonna say his name?
My dude, I'm calling you out. Dr. A, you know what you did. My dude at the beginning of class would come to class. First of all, comms major, didn't know how to set up anything. He's struggling how to put the HDMI cord into the computer to play a YouTube video.
Yeah, 15 minutes to get the video.
15 minutes, that's the start of the class. 45 minute class, 15 minute gone, right? So we got 30 minutes the rest of the class. My dude walk up, tell us a little story about the video that's about to happen. When he pressed play, it was like he was gifting us something that we ain't never seen before. Like we ain't know how to access YouTube.
Come on,
like we done like us.
This is how we grew up.
Right.
He acted like he had changed.
We are the YouTube generation. Sir.
When he pressed the space bar, it was a new.
And you see people taking notes, and I'm just like,
what? We didn't know the space bar was the play button.
I love
we didn't know.
I love when professors act like what they had prepped for was gonna blow your mind, and they realize how simple it was because they just haven't been blessed with being technologically savvy.
Right.
So like he would remember Martin Luther King Day?
That's what I was about to say. When he put the speech, he put I have a dream speech.
The way he built it up and put the speech and left the room.
Picked up and gathered and stuff.
Like we haven't heard like
We don't
who
know.
had
My
those
dude,
days?
like my dude.
My work
my
here
dude,
is done.
My dude, I have a dream. Like I know my dream.
Like if there was
My
like,
nigga,
if there was a racist person in the room, he's like, you know what? I don't feel like that.
I just solved it.
Right, exactly. Like, bro, we've heard this speech before, and when he's to me, that was one of the like prime examples of like, you got me. College, you got me. You did it.
Right.
You did your thing.
Yo,
you
that's
you
when
swindled
right,
me.
and
got
that's
me.
when you knew it was junior year, and it was like, well, I gotta finish now.
Because that's 1,500, 2,000 right there.
Fact.
That class.
Fact. And I was
like, YouTube videos.
bet, you got me.
Listen, if you're
You
listening
got
to
me.
this right now, you need to understand, for anybody that's like 18 to like freshman year of high school, what you are about to do, what we're joking about right now is you are making a business decision. All four of us here
100%
have made a lot of business decisions in our lives. And so as your elder millennials, we were reaching out to you and saying, this is a bit, don't let anybody else lie to you.
Don't let them fool you.
Whatever that class costs, you need to realize, would I give Freddie Mac $5,000 to teach me
Seed
Radio
money.
101?
Right,
No.
right.
Not
Because
like-
I'm gonna take it.
Right.
As the business,
as the business,
as the school, as the whatever.
take
I'm
it.
a
Without,
This is the
and that's not
decision you want to
including
make.
Freddie-
This is what you want
That's
to do.
not including
Hey, come on.
his fees for his hair.
utility.
That's not
room
including.
and board.
Right.
Like
No, it's
you
a-
are-
it's
you-
a- it's a big
you-
decision.
You're
It's a
making a
big
decision
decision.
to be on ramen and PB&J
Yeah.
for about 4 years.
Yeah.
So it's all business transactions,
Right.
You know, like let's not reach to the Barry Sanders. Like let's not reach to the free college for all situation. We ain't
Right.
there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's a business decision. Take a gap year. Go to the community college. Like if your college ain't free for you,
What do
take
you- what do you-
advantage.
I completely
what-
agree.
Yeah.
But just devil's advocate, what would you say to the people that say a bachelor's degree is the new GED? Like you have to have it to even get that first job. Do you think that's completely false?
It's so
false.
false. When you talk about social media and the internet and the impact that it's had on
Yes.
the young generation,
Yes.
where
Right.
so when somebody who is let's talk about the newest thing, which is Rhythm and Flow, the Netflix special, right?
Right.
Have you watched it?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yo, like crazy awesome, like young like rappers from all over the United States, like are selected by some top hip hop artists, and a lot of these are like social media artists, or just from that. Dudes went from, and I tracked it myself, dudes went from 10, 15,000 followers on Instagram to sometime over 1 million. Like D-Smoke, the winner,
Yeah.
spoiler alert.
Nah, we
the
are.
winner, all right, bet.
Yeah.
You know, like D-Smoke, the winner, over 1 million followers and he an Inglewood High
Yeah.
Spanish teacher
Yeah.
and music teacher.
Yeah.
Went from a few followers to over 1 million. The impact of social media.
The exposure.
Is crazy. And that's how people can translate social media and anything they do online into a business so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you got some high schoolers come out who can like code or do things on like social media and marketing or photography, like let's talk about our business, wedding business.
Yeah.
Do photography, videography. People that surrounding us right now, you don't necessarily need to have a degree to do that. But you can create a business all online so easy.
Right. So you're saying coming in with a foundation of like a business model of what you want to do. So you don't waste
yes.
what you have,
because everybody
what you
needs
need-
training to a degree.
Yeah. So the engineers of the world, the doctors, the nurses,
Yes.
those are all
But take that gap year to get equipped to be like, all right, this is what
This
I'm
is
going
what I
to
wanna
do.
If you're in STEM, go ahead and go to college.
Yeah.
But what we're
Those
saying
degrees
is,
that you need,
for
like you have to have.
We're talking to about 67% of the population that needs to understand. Well, again, the topic right now we're talking about is forging the path, right?
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about a path and you're thinking about getting from point A to point B, unless you are Freddie Mac and you already knew God woke you up
from kindergarten.
at a young
I'm trying to
age,
do, grade
and
school.
your
recess.
baritone voice already
Yeah.
hit.
That's what I'm saying. Silky.
Chorus, they put you all the way to the
Yeah.
left.
Silky.
And
If you
said,
just different.
Right.
You know what I mean?
like, so when you got that
Different,
Marvin Gaye voice, you
Yeah.
know you go on the radio.
Yes.
Right.
So it's like for those people that do not mistake this degree as, okay, I do this and I get a guaranteed job, because you need to understand, you're thinking about job 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
Do I need to be an entrepreneur? Like, think about it. Like, with everything that you're doing and you're trying to build, as long as it's outside of these degrees, right? You have to be the decision maker. So if you're doing, you're starting your own sock business, so you need to know business. If you don't know it,
Fact.
with the
My
internet,
first failed company, by the way, was the sock business. That was my first like big move, major investment.
Life's the best teacher.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. But I needed that. I needed that. And what that taught me was, and little side note is, get mentors. Get people around you that invest in you and communicate to you, and really the ones that pour into you. One of the biggest advice that my mentor told me says, stay in your lane. Stay in something that you are familiar with. I got into a business that I really had no idea how to run, how to manage, how to market. Like, as far as, there's so many ways, like Facebook advertisement, stuff like that. The way to scale it properly, like, is so huge. Yeah. And it's hundreds and hundreds of hours. And I spent thousands of dollars of trying to figure that animal out. And it wasn't it. Like, so for me, I took a step back and said, what is accepting right now? And what was creeping in the back was DJing. Yeah. Like, just creeping up. Yeah. And then it was a business that accepted me, and it was like, yo, like, you got this. Whatever the sauce you got, we want. And shout out to my boy Pew, was the first like official wedding that I DJ'd. Let's go. Like, we had the two little speakers and the wire mic and a little aux cord, like, just give your cousin an aux cord to press play.
But it was the personality, it was the natural talents and abilities and the passions that he had. That's what led you to the next two weddings that you had, because they saw that. That's where the value's at.
Potential there.
Yeah. That's where the value's at.
That's what I'm saying. But see, that's what I'm saying is, if you're going to be on this path, you got to understand, like, hey, I may fail. Yeah. I'm trying to get to point, whatever. For Gabe is to be that mogul, right? Right. And so, do I give someone, because you also got to think, like, that $150,000, if you gave that to yourself in a loan, business loan,
it'd be different from, you give me $150,000 when I'm 18, as opposed to right now. Exactly. World's different.
Exactly. So that's
world's different.
So be smarter.
Be smart.
If you're on that younger end, if you're in high school and
think a couple moves ahead. Yeah. I think to close this out, all we're saying is, if you need to go to college. But if you don't understand where you're going, be ready to understand this is a business move. So you need to understand you're writing yourself a check that needs to be paid back to the person that gave you that money. Right. Just like if you bought a car, that person still wants that money for that car. Right. So if you're gonna do it, be thinking 10, 5 years. Don't be thinking, it guarantees me a job if I go to college. What kind of quality job is that? Exactly. And is that even a job that gets you? So if you working the phones as an admissions counselor at a college, you got a job. Yeah, you said your goal was a job,
but you got $100,000 in debt, and you only making $28,000
after taxes.
After taxes,
you talking about closer to 20.
Yeah, you ain't got nothing in the bank.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You surviving. And it's difference between surviving and thriving. Right. You know.
So looking back as a high school student, I was told, a lot of times you almost got to pick when you're forging your own path. Am I going to pick money, or am I going to pick my passions? And I think that's a lie.
It's a struggle,
that people believe that, all right, am I going to pick the career choice that makes me the most money, seemingly? The doctor, lawyer, all this different thing, or am I just going to be, side hustle DJ? Right. DJ doesn't make any money. Right. But look at you now. Look at all y'all here now. Right. And I think that y'all chose y'all's passions. And I think down the line, then comes the money. Yeah. Like you had to fail, you had to grow 100%. As in your business, but you chose your passions and the money came because that aligned with who you were as a person, and your talents and abilities was able to shine.
I want to make sure I make like my journey up until this point clear too, just how I feel like Gabe didn't just I'm gonna start DJing, and it's everything just you know what I'm saying, you start making all this money, you get all this exposure. And the same for myself, like it wasn't some overnight success. Like that does not exist for anybody. And if it does, it's like the 1%
less than that. Less than that. Because you can talk about it, the winners of Withering Flow were all DJing for or rapping for years.
Yeah. These people are not like 16. These people are full-on adults, like families and everything. This is not no overnight success. You have to be, you're passionate about it. You put in that work. You stick with it. Yeah. And, hopefully it works out. You know what I'm saying? It's all, you're really throwing a Hail Mary on whichever path you choose, whether it is to go to college and get a degree in whatever field, or if you're just like, you know what, I'm going to take a chance on me and not go to college, not get a degree or whatever.
Also, I would say, if you're listening to, like, if you want the overnight success, understand what that comes with. Because if you forge your own path and let yourself like go through the maturation process, then you are ready for when
Absolutely.
God provides that opportunity.
When success happens.
But if you get that overnight success and you ain't ready, you know what I'm saying? Like, D-Smoke now has pressure.
Yeah.
We wait on this album.
Yeah.
We expect to be really good.
But he was the most ready and prepared for that level of success.
When your moment comes, when that door is open,
when you put in the years,
right?
That's what I keep telling myself is that like
33, like he was so ready. That the next one behind him was 32.
Right.
The other two people were in their 20s.
Well,
you know, early 20s.
With anything that you're doing, you have to realize that like when that time comes, if you're not ready, you've wasted the time that God gave you to prepare yourself.
Yeah.
You've wasted that time. And that's what I always fear is that like, man, I started a podcast this year. If it blew up, I ain't ready for it to blow up. I ain't ready for the expectations. I don't know everything about audio. I'm learning. I'm growing. In 5 years.
Yeah.
Maybe God's like, now's the time to get all those followers. And I'm like, I've invested the right money. I know what I'm doing. I have the right team around me. Yeah. And I'm ready to build an entertaining product. Yeah. If a TV show came to me, Nickelodeon came to me right now, I'd be like, am I ready? Because I know
sounds good.
Right. The money sounds good, but I'd rather be ready. And all you guys,
that's so hard, man. That's so hard. It's needed. But if somebody come at you with a check like that, it's so hard to have that self-discipline to say, not yet.
I've said yes to the money. And failed and realized
that mustard seed that you got right there, I don't even know if I got that. Like that strength to be like, yo, Nickelodeon gave me 100 stacks just to say, yo, man, we like your voice, we like what you're saying. Come with a full script, like ready.
Yeah.
I might, let me cash that and figure it out on the way. That's hard. That's like some true strength to be like, look, I myself am not ready for like this next move. You know what I mean? And that is also very key. Like to know, like not necessarily your limits, but know your time. Like really know yourself, know your time, be very self-aware. Bro,
humble yourself.
That comes from making some mistakes.
Yeah,
That comes
from
with
making mistakes.
Time.
Yeah, with time. Fact.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
And we ain't old, like I mean, but we just
millennials.
We've been through some things.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Some things, a little something. You know, like,
so speaking on that, like when you look at the culture today, how do y'all feel about it? Like, you know, as we're looking at like everything that has happened with our culture, and it's starting to like morph, and you know, for some reason, we're the generation, maybe this happened to every generation, we just are more aware because of social media. It feels like the hate towards millennials, people in our age bracket, is so weird to me because we provide so many great things and we're building so many great things, and we're doing.
We provided the ability to hate though. Like we provided a way for people to see more, at least.
We ushered in the digital age, like all the breaking.
We opened it up.
Technology. We were on the forefront of that. But of course, people behind us are going to develop that even more. But I think that key of, like you were saying, being seen of video and social media, that's us. That's our generation that kind of created that and birthed that into existence. So
as you guys look at that, like all this stuff happened. So the iPhone came out in 2007. Social media's been around for about 10 years. You know, so about when which is kind of crazy, we're starting college, social media started getting really big. So we're 10 years in. How do y'all feel about like the cancel culture, the woke culture, the way culture is today? Are we healthy? Do we feel like it was a good trade-off from back in the day when it was just like, hey, Gabe,
you ain't know nothing.
You know, it's like just a group text or like AOL, and that was funny, and that was it. And you spent 8 hours on your MySpace, you know.
I mean, memes are life, bro. Oh, your first. Oh, and Tom was your best friend, like your first friend.
Oh yeah.
And everyone got upset.
You spent hours trying to figure out, my layout on my page. What song I'm gonna get? Because when you come to my MySpace page,
what's the energy? What's the energy when they enter the page?
That's how I'm feeling.
I had a Raphael Sadiq song. I thought girls were gonna be like, just messaging me like,
bro, it's Chris Brown all the way. Chris Brown all the way.
Like they were gonna be so blown. Like bro, he didn't pick Chris Brown.
You got the perfect wallpaper with the song, and you just sit back.
Like, hey, bro, when with you came out, if I was playing with you, you know I had a new boo. If I was playing Say Goodbye, you know that boo had to go goodbye. You know what I mean? Like my song represented my emotions so key. It was such a key element to my day.
Honestly.
Like before you checked in with me in middle school, check my MySpace.
Come on.
Like check my MySpace.
See how Gabe
Before
is
you even
coming
shook
in.
my hand, check my MySpace.
Y'all remember how you have a talk with your boy and you knew how it went depending on how you were on his MySpace, like top 8? You like,
Fact. Bro, switch around.
oh, I'm 6?
Timmy
So
gonna do
we
me like
cool,
that.
but you dropped me from 3rd to 6.
Yep. Timmy gonna do me like that in math class? All right,
You
Bet.
threw that bow
Right.
in gym class?
Yep.
Nah.
Right.
Yep.
12.
Right.
Yep.
That meant
12.
And the
everything.
girl, and it was always that girl that was cute that would just rise up towards
Bro,
the front, and you were hoping she would notice, like,
Facts.
Yeah.
yo, she's second. How's she
Yeah.
not noticing what
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell her?
And your girlfriend would give you something. She'll say something to you if she wasn't number 1.
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was your girlfriend.
Fact. But
It meant everything.
Heck yeah, you need to
The
play it
value
off.
we gave
Make
that.
Tom your number 1 friend. You ain't gotta worry about none of that drama.
Right.
Bro. Tom's the
That's
number 1.
Tom.
That's Tom.
Everybody's
Tom.
friend's Tom.
Everybody friend with Tom.
But so now we have all these friends,
yeah.
but it looks like we all struggling with loneliness. We have
Yeah.
all
Bro,
we have all this
anxiety's so
connection,
high. Yeah,
and we
anxiety's
getting
so
hot
high,
at like
bro.
people's opinions, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, that's the whole point. Like we
Right.
started to
When
know
did that-
everyone's opinions.
Right. When did that become
Bro.
the time when you could just say, oh, you said something I don't agree with?
Yeah.
It's over for you.
Yeah.
Or you said something back in the
Right.
day that isn't acceptable now?
We-
You've evolved?
We're
What?
in a
Nah,
soft-
you know what I'm saying?
America is so
Oh, it's over.
soft. Bro.
Yeah.
So soft.
What do you mean by soft?
Weak, bro. Like
It's
they
looking
can't-
somebody in the eye. It's like it's easy that you, like you say, you can hide behind your Twitter fingers, but like when you're right across from somebody in a coffee shop, are you really going to talk like that? You're not going to talk
No.
like
Yeah,
that.
you
No.
can't say nothing.
And people can check you a lot quicker.
Yeah.
You can't just block them or be like
Yeah.
that. I think we're living in woke culture in echo chambers. Like I feel like whatever belief I have, I can find a group of people that
Oh, yeah.
believe like me.
Yeah.
And
100%.
because of that, it strengthens my resolve and my belief, whether it's
Absolutely.
right or
'Cause
wrong.
You can find your niche.
And that creates that friction and that
Yeah.
animosity and that
Yeah.
identity politics and everything else.
Right.
Yeah, other people-
But that
yeah, that
echo
niche
chamber
gassing
of
you
like,
up.
oh, I'm right. Like
Yeah.
this is the right thing. But I think when you're around a table like this with a lot of different views, you're
Yep,
able to
different
kind of sand
perspectives.
off those rough edges of your beliefs.
That's what I love
Come on.
about this table
That's
and this
exactly-
podcast is that everyone comes here. I don't care who you are, your political beliefs. You come here. I'm gonna sit across from you. I'm
Yeah.
gonna respect you. I mean, I agree with you,
Fact.
but we go talk. What I love about this podcast is that it kind of returns back to this old form that we don't do anymore. Like
Right.
4 friends meeting at a table
Yeah, let's
to
talk.
discuss.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm looking you straight in the eye.
Yeah.
And so it's like imagine I heard a concept on a podcast. They said, what if we did where you could have a room and you could do like a pop up across the country. And if you are a Democrat or you're just more liberal,
Yeah.
you get on this side, and you're more conservative, more red, you get on this side. You don't know who's on the other side. Door opens and you can see they sit down and like talk. Like maybe you do like the hot wings challenge.
Yeah.
You just talk like. So
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
I'm wondering why we ain't got chicken wings now. You ain't
Yeah,
got, you ain't,
you know-
now I'm wondering like why we ain't like Popeyes just announced that the sandwiches
We should
are
have
back.
a bag of
They're back.
sandwiches
Right.
in.
We said you
with
said,
the buns. You ain't got to bring the buns.
Sidebar.
Yeah.
How black of a company do you have to be
Bro, fact.
to say we won, lose your debate, and come back as if like
Right. We're still here.
like
Bruh.
they acted
Right,
like,
like ain't 2 bucks
I said, bruh,
since the last chicken sandwich.
I said, y'all been cooking them things in the back. Hurry up.
Yeah.
Like, y'all had your grandma.
Bruh,
Did they
fact.
bust in grandmas to make
Fact.
The audacity.
the blackest thing they did was when they had the nerve to say, bring your own buns.
Bring your own buns, bro.
That's what I didn't have to know who was on the board of
Unreal.
trustees. I said, there are some black people on the board of trustees.
You gotta love
Because
it,
Chick-fil-A
bro.
would never do that. Chick-fil-A would never
Nah,
announce
bro.
a sandwich and be like,
Nah.
hey, we out. But if you come back with a
That's
bun,
love though, bro. That's
I
love.
got
You know what?
That's
Honestly,
love.
Chick-fil-A would not run out. You
Bro,
would never
nah,
hit. Have
bro,
you?
right, bro? Now you talking about faith now. Like,
Chick-fil-A ain't-
like now you
they-
talking about where my faith lies.
I know this is way
now
up,
you going into some deeper stuff now. Cause Chick-fil-A, like that's on some like gosh.
I'm telling you, right.
That's
I don't
like-
want to be blasphemous. That's holy ground.
Right.
That's holy ground.
Right.
It is. That's
As
what I'm
God is faithful, I know Chick-fil-A will always
Them
be
pickles
faithful.
anointed. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
Like,
That's
like
right.
that's
It hasn't.
It's different.
Let's think about it. Chick-fil-A hasn't been around forever. When they first came out with the greatest chicken sandwich or whatever they want to call it,
Goat.
and everything, you don't think people was like lying out the door?
Right.
I don't really remember,
Yeah, I don't
but
remember.
you know what I'm saying. They never.
Right.
They didn't. I never
Yeah.
heard anything about a shortage
Yeah.
or bring your own buns.
Yeah.
Or bring your own
Ain't
pickles.
none.
Any of that.
Bro,
That's
what
ridiculous.
happened? What is it? How many? 2 loaves and 3 fish? Or how many?
Pastor J.
3 fish, 5 loaves of
and
bread.
5 loaves. Did he run out?
I got you, bro.
Did he run out?
It kind of came out of nowhere. Like
You just kept
two fish.
Two fish.
Oh, okay.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
What?
Producer Troy letting us making sure we biblically correct
Yeah,
on
thank
this
you.
Open up this
on
button
the
now.
policy now. Hey, we about to open it up. Yo.
Chick-fil-A ain't run out.
Oh shoot, man, that's
It's
stupid.
real.
Well, also, last point on the Popeyes versus Chick-fil-A. By the way, Chick-fil-A won. They have the best sandwich. But what kills me the most
I've
with
never tried
Popeyes is
Popeyes, yeah.
they acted like they ain't had 30-some years. I was like, bruh, it's 2019.
Yeah.
You just now coming out with chicken
Yeah.
sandwich?
You've been abusing Aunt
Where y'all
Jemima
been?
for too long. Like,
You've had
like
years to just slow roll this.
abuse it, you know?
Like, I'm just
I think
saying.
meme culture really is what brought them to the map. Like it was almost a joke at first. It was like,
Bro,
yo,
it was-
Popeyes coming on. Like
Of
Chick-fil-A got to
course,
look out.
because-
And all of a
right,
sudden, everybody was
right.
like,
Because Chick-fil-A was like
Oh,
the
this is the thing.
Patriots.
Yeah,
and we
this
were
is the
like,
thing.
Social media like took it off. I remember
really
I seen
did.
it on Craigslist. They were selling
Craigslist?
Popeyes
Stop.
sandwiches
Bro, when you
with the
real-
off-white band.
you
like
with the white
off-white
V like,
shoe
babe, I gotta fuck.
Bro, I was like, it's not real, bro. It's not real.
Right. It's no way.
What?
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's real.
That,
And people made some money.
The off-white
Oh,
band.
fat, bro.
Yeah.
It was- The Popeyes
Yeah.
chicken sandwich was on StockX for a whole day, bro.
And that's what
Like,
that's what social
for real,
media
for real.
that's
Flipping
what
at
social
40%
media will
profit.
do to you.
Flipping
That's one of the bad things social media can the influence they can
Yeah,
have, right?
crazy
Because you
influence.
I'm thinking I ain't even see the commercial for the chicken sandwich, but I
Bro.
seen it all over my
Yeah,
Twitter
right.
timeline,
That's
all
right.
over Instagram.
That's
bro.
true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
That's
like,
true.
well,
They
shoot,
marketed
now
it
I gotta
well.
try it. I gotta see what this is about.
But like we're talking
But do
about.
you even think? Did you think they marketed or they saw like people being funny with it and like
Just let
how
it ride.
and was like, oh, we
no,
on
no, no,
it?
no.
Yeah.
I
You know
think
what I'm
I think they knew what they were. I think these companies are too big.
You think they're that smart?
No, I think what
Not
was
with social media. They didn't know it was gonna take off like that.
no. I think
Most people don't.
they
Yeah.
tried to get the spark going,
But they capitalized on it.
Right.
They
and capitalized on it.
They
Yeah.
knew that it would bring
Right.
heat
Right.
with Chick-fil-A.
Right.
Because even Wendy's tried to
Right.
slide
Yeah,
in there.
like-
Like, we've been having the OG
Yeah, sit
chicken
down.
sandwich. I said,
Sit out.
Ain't no,
Bruh.
ain't nobody
I gotta wait
trust.
15 minutes in the drive-thru, and I'm the only one there every time I'm at Wendy's. Where? Why?
What
Yo,
killed-
we ain't
the lines
saw
are
this.
so long.
I
We
don't,
saw
I
this.
don't get why they don't copy Chick-fil-A. They be surprised.
Unbelievable.
I can't stand the other
never
fast
seen
food
Wendy's.
restaurants.
It's just-
Hey, listen,
Wendy's.
McDonald's,
Wendy's.
Wendy's, Burger King. Can y'all help me out?
Sit down.
Popeyes,
Call 'em
KFC.
out.
Can y'all help
Yep.
me out?
tell them.
Can y'all stop acting like y'all surprised
Right.
that I'm waiting for quick service,
Right.
hot and ready, and what I asked for is on the sandwich? Like the fact that they,
why is this a
it's
shock
like
to
they're
you?
like peasant. Are you asking for a sandwich? I'm like,
Can I get an extra barbecue sauce?
Right.
You got 35 cents?
Yeah.
what? 35 cents?
And I gotta dig through my middle console.
Right.
And get all
find you
that,
some
get all
change.
that grease
That's
and
stuck
dust on
together.
my fingers and
Yeah.
stuff. Hey,
Like Oliver Twist, man.
Bruh,
you don't
it's
you can't, you
crazy.
can't swipe my card for 35 cents?
They be on the thing. Excuse me, just 1 second.
Bro, what
There's
does it
no
take?
one else. What you?
Ain't nobody
I just
here.
pulled up.
Ain't nobody
And
here.
There's no one else here.
They hate that.
All right, go ahead. And
It's
you
all right,
say
though.
it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, what's going on inside that we need? Like, we got.
Yo, 2 days
Hold on a
ago,
second.
I was in the drive-thru and I hear him. He's like, "Oh, just wait a second." And I heard something come up from behind me. He had the headset on. He was walking to his car and still talking to me. He said, "We locked eyes." I said, "He said, what's up, bro?"
You lying.
I said, "You got the headset on at the car?"
Bruh.
And he was like, "Just a second." I was like, "Okay." And somebody come up behind me. I was like,
we the man down.
"Man your station,
Chick-fil-A.
man your station."
Chick-fil-A be giving double heart surgery and be like,
gosh.
wait, don't worry, we'll have the baby.
Right.
They be literally delivering babies, and then
Bro, they just
give
different,
them
different.
free Chick-fil-A for the
What
for
is
the
this
whole year.
hiring process
It's like, how
Yeah.
y'all like that?
Fact. It's different, different.
Your phone crack, they fix it in the back. It's ready with your sandwich by the time you get through.
Fact.
I'm like,
They
I'm
different,
asleep.
different, bro.
I got
go to-
faith. I got faith in that line.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not a long
Bro,
line. It's a
and
long.
line-
It's a long
right,
line, but
yeah.
it goes fast.
It's so
Like, you
fast.
see-
Even
15,
I've
20 deep.
pulled up so
Bro,
many times
yeah.
at peak lunchtime,
Yes.
and I say, you know
12:01.
what?
By faith.
I'll be all right.
By faith.
I get back to work on time.
My
I'll be
dude
good.
Jeffrey will walk to the back of the line. He'll go through each of them daggone cars and come to me, my dog. What you need? I
Yeah.
get my 3 strips. Boop, 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 put my little skin coat in.
Insane.
I'm out.
Yeah.
In less than 10.
It's nothing.
Even if it's wrapped around the
It's
building.
insane.
Yeah. I
Jeffrey
don't
at
care.
Chick-fil-A got me. That's all I got.
And maybe,
to say.
that's
That's all I got
a
to say.
synopsis
My guy.
with our culture, because the most loudest brands,
Right.
the most aggressive brand, they be subtweeting each other.
Right.
They be tweeting Chick-fil-A, y'all okay,
Right.
talking
Yeah.
smack, and Chick-fil-A just be, I'm out here,
Slow turn,
focused on me.
Yep.
Ain't
Keep
worried
your head
about
down, keep
nobody.
working.
Yep.
And hey, what?
These dogs.
Oh, you want to shut down our restaurant in Canada because of our president's viewpoint on one thing? And it's a religious viewpoint. We gonna be out here slinging.
Yep. We still out here.
Slowly
We out
but
here.
surely.
We out here.
You think that's gonna stop us?
And why do you think more businesses
incredible.
can't be like emulate that model of just like, look, I'm gonna do me.
They can't humble themselves.
Now I'm I'm not out here to be this mega giant, a trainer. What I just like try to like pummel every other business. I'm gonna just do me.
Right.
Why can't businesses just emulate that model? I'm not saying like Chick-fil-A is the centerpiece for that,
No,
but just in general, like why can't
Bro,
businesses,
I
you know what I mean?
think Twitter has caused a syndrome in these execs. They really look at it and be like, oh, this is how we're going to get. They really think these followers are going to monetize. They really think that like, oh, if we go viral in this, they don't realize at the end of the day, these principles have to be the same. And it's like in your real life, it's like, ooh, I went viral with this tweet because I was petty and I had a little clap back, but I would never tweet that rapper.
Right.
Like that in real life.
Right.
And catch the hands. I would never. I would never be that slick.
Nobody want to hands.
Right.
You feel
trigger
untouchable.
fingers
paws
on
on
Twitter
you.
fingers. Like it would never happen like that.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like I think our culture for some reason just like they see the likes and the tallies and the hearts and the double taps and they're like, oh, like people really like my sermon because they double tap. It's like you got to get back to the grind of just like no. I'm doing this with an audience of one, and if nobody says anything, like God's at work.
So you think it goes back to like the mission statement and vision instead of like the immediate needs?
Yes.
And,
I have to remind myself that
because that'll carry you on farther than looking around. Like,
Bro.
if you have your eyes fixed on, all right, what's my vision? What's our mission statement?
That'll
carry you way farther than just like your immediate. Like, all right, this is what I need to get to do right this week.
Yes.
Have that longer cast of like, all right, this is my mission. This is my calling. This is my vision.
Yes.
And I'm gonna carry it out.
You gotta, and
regardless.
you always gotta come back to it and be okay with coming back to it and reminding yourself because when you get into the comparison game, you'll forget and you'll be like, oh, I need to be like A, B, C, or D, and not realize,
Bro, for sure.
This is where I need to be.
Right.
Being G Baby, being Freddie Mac,
let
being
me
Josh
get-
Pugh, being Obey.
Let me get the fundamentals down first.
Yeah.
Because like every journey is a journey for a reason, right? You don't just start out on top. It's just not the way it goes. There's something for you to learn at every stage. So we here on level whatever, and you seeing somebody that's doing better than you, seemingly, quote unquote, or more popular, more celebrity, whatever. But that's them.
Yeah.
That ain't you.
Yep.
That ain't your journey. And even if that will be you one day, that's not where you are right now.
Yep. And I had a real humbling experience last year with something like that where a DJ that I was with, I was at this event and like I messed up like bad. It was like bad. And like he was like saying all type of stuff about me. And later in that night, he invited me to his tour bus, to come chop up about some things. And I was pissed. I was like, I ain't about this dude. Like this dude just insulted me in my craft. Like I ain't about to go meet this dude. But this dude was light years ahead of me, like on like where I was. And I was like, I need to humble myself. Let me go learn something from him. And he got something to teach me. If I need to be more, I'm the one that needs to be more receptive and open to go learn from this person that I can then maybe if I'm lucky enough to be one day to be in his shoes and carry that weight better or perform better or whatever.
Right.
So I think now like I look at it, social media can be so toxic. Like it can, because you're looking at what people's doing, where people are going, or
you see everybody's highlight reel.
You see everybody's highlight
version
reel
of themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to say like, all right, instead of me being like, man, I wish I was there, I always try to think about what did it take for them to get to that position? What did they have to do to be this great? And I want to know what that process is.
Yeah.
I want to know what your process is to get to this height of your career.
Yeah.
How do I do that? Because that's like the missing key for a lot of people.
Yeah.
We don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
Like you there, like obviously you grinding. But what are we grinding for? Like what are we grinding with? What are we doing? You know,
Freddie
like
Mac was saying, it's the journey, not the destination.
right.
Yeah.
Fact.
Learn about that
Love the
step.
process.
Right.
Like loving that process, I think has been like a key element into where I am right now. And it's not the top. It's definitely not the top. But at least it's in a pack of our own conversations. Obey is Obey in his own right. Freddie Mac is Freddie Mac in his own right. G Baby is in his own right. J Pew is him in his own right. Like we all went through something. We all had a process to be where we're currently at. And again, it's not at the top, but it's a process. And I'm learning to love that process. To be like, look, I gotta absorb all I can.
Can you find yourself in social media? Do y'all think y'all can, like you saying, Freddie Mac is Freddie Mac, Obey is Obey? But do you think
you open my social media, you know,
social media is a vehicle or a good medium that can be used to find yourself? Like, what would you say to someone listening to the podcast?
Wait.
Like, I didn't find myself, looking at Twitter and Facebook and all this stuff. It was hard conversations that I had.
Wait. So do you mean like if someone opens up my Facebook, could they know more about me, or did I find more about myself through social media?
I guess a combination, but like, how do you discover the most about yourself? Obviously, it's through experiences, it's through failures, through your journey, but none of that really is on social media at all.
You could. Now I try to emulate my personal social media. Is if you open my social media, you know I'm not fake. Like it's all authentic. Like it's no like crazy editing. Like it's just like me being me. You know. But like I said, I didn't find out who I am through social media. It's through y'all. Like it's through conversations like this. Got to find that outside of this screen. For a fact.
And that's what I think my fear is with the young generation before us. Is they don't realize that like
after us.
Generation after us. I apologize. After us. Is that we were just old enough that we had playing outside. We had, if you weren't part of this like little crew, I didn't really know who you were. I didn't know everything that was going on around the world. And so when you look at the generation now, they have grown up knowing everything about everybody. And about building your following.
Thinking they know everything about everybody.
And like
the relationships is this deep. So surface level.
Yes. And these people, all 100,000 people care about me. And they don't realize that ain't true. They ain't calling when you're sad.
That's so
to hang out.
That's so deep because back in the day, you didn't need 100,000 people to care about you. You need one.
Right.
You just needed
that cul-de-sac.
You need a cul-de-sac.
You need that cul-de-sac crew.
That one dude you walk outside, you dap him up, you shoot b-ball.
Can we even have the cul-de-sac now?
New title, cul-de-sac crew.
Can you have Hey Arnold? Can you have those things now? Can you have those friendships
now? It's all about how many followers you have instead. Back in the day, you just rock with just one. You good.
But that's what I'm saying.
Anxiety levels are through the roof these days.
Can we position the culture to where maybe social media is repurposed? Because I think at first it was good.
That though. They're already talking about that. Seeing how many likes you have on a photo.
But it's not gonna do it though, because you know how many.
That's a part of it.
Because then personally,
but other people, because sometimes.
But you still know the followers.
Sometimes you follow someone because
how you gonna
they
get that dopamine release though?
Exactly.
If it's not the likes, how you gonna get that dopamine?
You gotta get it somewhere else.
They're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it.
I know you gotta repurpose that dopamine. I don't think they'll do it. I agree.
Because there's no point.
There's no point on Instagram.
They're not just going to Visco.
Yeah.
If I'm just going to scroll and be like, ooh, nice picture.
Right.
Ooh, nice
I'll go to Pinterest. Yeah, exactly.
Right,
I'll
go to Pinterest.
Yeah, so I agree.
Likes is the grading.
It's the dopamine drip.
It's the grading scale.
Yeah, if you got 1,000 followers.
Because you feel you got a lot of likes.
Yeah.
Oh, this
you got attention followers.
I'm that girl, whatever.
You be looking at the same post, smiling at yourself, like
refreshing that joint every
that was funny,
going back every time. Like, this is a good caption. People
I got a lot of likes.
People liking me, and that's not the way.
Yeah.
And I also feel like we're too far gone to go back to the cul-de-sac crew. To do that, and I'm so glad we were able to grow up that way.
You don't think our kids will be able to do that if we try?
If we do, that's the thing.
On us.
It's not on Zuckerbergs of the world. It's not on Instagram, Facebook. It's not on them to do that. It's on us and our kids.
It's us as parents.
I work at a Montessori school, and we do no screens until 4th grade. Like nobody, and these kids are outside playing with each other, setting up play dates. Like they don't do social, like all this online stuff, and that's so purposeful. We're not, and it's not neglectful of them not to have.
They don't need it.
They don't need it. What do they need it for?
They don't.
They're kids, and it's no signs at 4th grade that they're being held back or not being equipped to handle a phone.
Right.
It's so second nature to them, even not having it for so long that they just absorb it immediately. It's nothing.
I heard a psychiatrist recently said that in 30 to 40 years, we're going to look back on social media and look at it the same way we look at cigarettes now.
Bruh.
Just because all the studies that we're
Bruh.
seeing,
Yeah.
nothing's positive.
Yeah.
All these
Like,
people,
bruh,
they've come up with these social media
just saying,
platforms.
Doctors used to
they're
smoke
addictive.
cigarettes in the
Man.
emergency room
Yeah.
a couple 40 years ago.
Man.
Like that was a
Wow.
fact.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Like,
everywhere.
are we gonna look back and be
It was
like,
in dining
yo, we're
rooms,
so
it was everywhere.
stupid. Did y'all really think that wasn't gonna hurt y'all?
Fact.
Like, as far as anxiety and loneliness, like I think we're gonna look back and be like, man, we were idiots.
Yeah.
Like playing with a loaded gun and not even realizing the impact it can have on a generation, on a person. It's crazy.
Who was it? Who was it? One of y'all that posted about the coffee when coffee was implemented in like what is it?
That was Isaac.
Yeah. It was like really early on, and right after that, the revolution. There was a revolution started like 10 years later. You know what I mean? Like how close anxiety levels just like keep going through the roof. It's just a reliance on like caffeine and like all this stuff that dopamine like release. What you're talking about? There's so much reliance on these fixes, you know, that we have, or these vices that we have to whatever. Like so, anxiety is like through the roof, and it's.
Let's
I don't
talk
know,
about
it's
what you were
crazy.
saying about
What?
like, I know you mentioned the word authenticity. I think that there's such a hunger and a craving for authenticity and realness among this digital age of social media.
Because you feel like it's so. What's crazy is people feel like authenticity is so rare now because of social media. So that's why there's such a big crave for it. You know what I mean? And it's like to a degree I agree. Like it can feel rare when you have such a surface level like social media relationships. You know, but and on top of that, people are more being pushed to not be themselves.
Right.
Because of digital age, so it's almost harder to be authentic for some people.
Yeah.
For us, we cul-de-sac. You know what I mean? Like we ain't got no other way to be. We come from our culture's
the gutter
different.
like that.
No, you magnet. You know, you magnet school. You know what I mean? You Nigeria. You know what I mean? Like you Orange County. You know what I mean? Like we just different. You know what I mean? We just different. It's not just it for not all. For some. I would stretch to say most is not the same, so being authentic can be tough for some people when you're told that it's about your likes and your followers.
Right.
And you can easily hide behind this screen.
Although I feel like it's so far gone, like cul-de-sac culture and stuff like that. I totally agree with that it's on us to raise our kids.
Fact.
Yeah.
My parents raised me because they were cul-de-sac kids. They was neighborhood. They was out in the creek.
Yeah.
They was out
Fact.
playing outside riding bikes and stuff like that.
We're
with
the
their
half and
friends.
half. Like we had half a foot in.
Oh, yeah,
and half a foot
100%.
out.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like the culture, I feel like, is weighing on us as parents. When we get to be parents, which we're
Yeah.
already starting to be,
Yeah.
Right.
what are we going to do?
It's on us.
Yeah.
We realize now, before we have kids, that it is on us.
And
That
since we're aware,
responsibility is on
we're
us.
accountable.
Yep.
Oh,
Since
fact.
you're
Very
aware,
much
you're
so.
accountable.
Very much
If you're
so.
listening to this, you're accountable now.
Yeah,
You know.
You have to know. You have to.
And our parents, you're getting on my nerves. Go outside.
Oh, yeah.
And now parents
Bro,
are, you
yeah.
get on my nerves.
Go to your room.
Here's your
Here's your
iPad.
Here's your iPad.
Go to your
Go play a
room.
game.
Watch a YouTube video.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's wild. It's
So,
wild.
okay, but here's the thing that's hard for me is like, so here's a moment of honesty. So today, I felt like, oh man, I haven't posted in 3 days, so I gotta do a post. I did a post,
Yeah.
and I instantly was like, numbers ain't running up the way they.
Yeah,
my last post did.
Yeah.
Man, I want to delete it.
Yeah.
Maybe I posted at the wrong
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I say, but
I gotta
it
get the
said
max.
Yeah.
12 to 3 was
Yeah.
my prime time.
Yeah.
And I started feeling it, and I was like, yo, because that's the biggest change for me is like starting to build this brand and like starting to get opportunities and trying to get like to be this like dude that's like trying to sell not only this DJ product but like all these other things, right? And you both understand this. And, you understand this with ministry, like trying to build the church
Organically.
and sell it to like
Exactly.
Organically.
Keys organically.
right.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what it is that like where that happy medium is for our culture in the future, and I'm like, where's we as we look to like, because we see it, so we have to make this shift.
Yeah.
What do we do? Because it's like, man, I gotta grow the brand, but I want to be authentic.
Yeah.
But I also care about likes, but I don't care. But that's how I get my advertising and my money.
It's a mindset to me.
You know, it's hard.
It's if I'm posting on my business page, I'm thinking purely business. I just like you said, I know my operating times. I know when I'm supposed to post. If I haven't posted, I know I need to post. It's purely business.
Okay.
I post it,
But
I walk away.
You don't care about likes.
I don't care. Like I'll post it to have content, so that when, at least for us, when
Gotcha.
someone was referred to us, they have something to go to see content. Typically, 9 times out of 10, they don't care how many likes it has. They don't care how many views it has. If they like you, they booking you.
Yeah.
Period. So I'm trying to at least, and this is not happened always, Benji baby. It's a new me. Like I don't care. Like it's business. That's what it is. I'm posting it. I'm done with it. You know what I mean? And not being sucked into where Obuzi at this year, where Freddie Mac at next year, like where J. Pugh is right now. Like I'm in my lane. That's it. You know, if we can climb together, we climb together. If we can't,
that's a mindset. I gotta like feed myself off of that because I'm guilty of that. Even though I'm all about going outside, riding bikes, and I grew up like that. We live in a new age now where this has become pretty much everything to us, social media and everything. So I love that mindset. Like I'm very at the very beginning of getting like that. Like, oh, I'm just posting this for content. I don't need to
business.
I don't need to worry about the likes or all that interaction, all that kind of stuff. And it is hard being, it is hard trying to find that path or trying to get on that path of not caring about likes and all that kind of stuff. It's very, very difficult because this is designed for. And all these people that have designed all these social medias have said this was designed to be addictive.
Draw you back.
Yo, have you ever scrolled to the bottom of your timeline?
Never.
Has that ever happened?
Never.
Wow.
Never.
Think about the time you've been on the toilet.
Right?
Or you just sitting on I don't mean to be like graphic, but you've been
dead. Like you get up and you get that
just been
tingly feeling.
scrolling. Do you ever come to the bottom of that?
Nah.
Do you ever come to the bottom and your timeline just says like there's nothing left?
Blood loss would happen in my legs if I attempted to.
It's a bottomless pit.
Fact.
And it's very addictive. This is all facts. Right. But I think it starts in your mind like, yo, I'm gonna post this. I'm not gonna be overly concerned, and that's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
For I know for me to really get on that, I'm gonna post it and walk away. Yeah. It's hard to do that, bro.
Yeah. You know what?
Because this is what it's designed for, and I'm already been in this system for however long Instagram been around, 06, whatever.
You know what's kind of helped me in this, and obviously again this kind of relates to our personal business, but it's like I'm more focused on my interactions that I have at that. Like say I'm DJing a wedding, right? And it is crazy night, it's awesome, and we got people that come up like, man, it was great, it's fantastic. So and so's getting married, I'm getting married, whatever. That's my moment right there. Yeah. That's my moment to make a connection with that person that I had who already seen my sauce instead of relying on my social media to do that for me. Obviously, social media helps. We all get leads from it, like whatever. But I want to rely, like you just said, like y'all said, organically. That's my organic lead right there. Yeah. I didn't pay for that. You know what I mean? That's the person who saw what I can do and live. At minimum, like is interested. Perk to interest. That's where I
so you fully separated yourself from your social media.
I try to. It's not 100%. Like I'm not foolproof to it, but I try to say like this is my business. This is what it's for. Like obviously we all utilize
social media is a tool to get you to that spot.
There it is.
To get you to that spot.
You know what I mean? And it has to be used as such. I don't want to be consumed by it, and that's my thing. I want to be consumed by my community. That's
on a business level. Also on a personal level, because you'll see people you'll see a whole concert on somebody's Snapchat or somebody's Instagram story.
You're not even there. Like how you posting about the concert?
Take this fuzzy sound down, man. You up in the nosebleeds, bro. I don't care, but that's what social media is designed for. Like we already talked about business and content and stuff, but you also got to let everybody know where you at, what you doing, how lit your life is, quote unquote.
When people record the radio, like they listen to the song they listen to, the whole song on the radio. We good, bro. Like
I can find that song
exactly.
if I want to.
Give me the title, like, and then walk away. You know what I mean? Like,
how we used to do ringtones, record the radio.
We combining all of it now.
So like this year, I started pushing myself to like start that process because I think it's almost like coming out the Matrix. I went to go see one of my favorite artists of all time.
Red pill, blue pill. The Matrix?
Right. Like it just feels like that. Like when you use social media. So I went to go see John Bellion, who was like one of my top 10 favorite artists, and it was the weirdest thing because I chose to post nothing. And I'm a person that's starting to get into this content creating thing.
To be in the moment.
To be in the moment. Yeah. And it's like when you start to like, I've been really thinking about like, these like silent retreats and doing these things to kind of detach you from what our culture
without telling everybody that you're doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy though, right?
I don't need to know you're gonna take a month off for social media for Lent and all that kind of stuff.
Now I know somebody listening like it's a weird flex and then tell it on the podcast I know.
Yeah. But isn't it crazy to think about like
I'm not going
to record this moment. Right. I'm not going to video this moment. Bro, you almost think like, but nobody seeing what I'm doing.
Nobody's going to believe me.
Nobody going to believe me that
I'm What about my fans?
Yeah, what about my fans? They need to know, and I'm like,
yeah.
If no one sees me close to John and he dapped me,
take a pic or it didn't happen. Right. Take a pic or it didn't happen. Like it's so hard. Right. I feel that because it's like in the back of your head.
But I became more aware. Of people at the concert, bro. Like y'all were
talking about how much more did you enjoy the moment?
There were things I probably would have missed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was you looking down,
bro? I was sitting here. I watched the whole for the first. I was like, I saw John with 300 people. When he was nobody, before he got his Disney deal, back in the day, right when his first real project dropped, after the definition.
Shout out John Bellion.
Like,
organic growth,
fire.
by the way, too, on a business tip.
And refuses to do it.
Oh, yeah.
The other way. That's why I respect him. But, so, like, I remember seeing that concert, and that time, I was with my ex-girlfriend, and I wanted to post about it, I wanted to do all this stuff, and I remember being like, I would miss certain parts, because I'm like, I was literally, back then, thinking about a post during the concert.
So this caption gonna be mean. I know exactly. I'm gonna put some lyrics from All Time Low on this song.
Bro, I'm sitting here on my story. You talk about people where you're like, all right. And I'm like, wait, bro, let me finish this later.
Right.
And so when I watched this concert this time, I'm like, wow, he does this. When he started doing this, man, that was a fire arrangement. Y'all don't understand. Like, y'all listen to the original, he just flipped it. Yeah. It was just like so many things I would just like focus in on.
I got a confession of I sometimes get sucked into second screen. Like I'm watching NBA basketball and I'm looking at my phone on Twitter and I'm seeing highlights. I was like, I didn't even see that. And I just gotta look up.
That's just a key element.
If you come out the matrix,
I need to put my phone down if I want to enjoy like what's happening right in front of me.
I gotta watch all the games at the same time.
Like that second screen, like it's sucking me in more than what I really want to do.
Sports is life.
That is so, bro.
The game is background.
When we watch,
I want to see what Stephen A. Smith got to say about it. Like, and I'm missing what he got, what he said.
When we watched Mayweather versus Khabib together, right? Yeah, I felt bad. His confession time. I felt bad.
Khabib.
Sorry, my bad. McGregor versus Khabib. A real fan. UFC.
Yeah.
And I almost missed when Khabib went for his whole family and went out the cage.
And jumped.
Because I was on Twitter. I remember about to tell Pew something, and I wanted to and he hit me. He came out the cage, and I'm like, I look up, and I'm like,
crazy.
Oh my! I almost missed that whole moment. And I remember being like, yo, that's what I paid for, is to see all that. But I was on Twitter trying to find funny stuff and dope stuff that's going on while watching it. Just like that just brought that to my mind,
Isn't it crazy how much we pay to go see something and don't watch it?
And we not there?
How much? Somebody
pay to go. Somebody listening just got hit.
That hit different,
bro.
Like you working your 48.
Somebody go to church and say, I'm gonna need a scheduled time with the pastor.
You know Seriously, and you don't watch
G-Baby
it.
just hit me something deep.
For real.
You just paid $150 for a concert ticket and ain't watched but half of it.
You ain't even there.
You ain't even there,
bro. You in Instagram
just so I can say to my friends I was there.
Come on, hey, you at the movie? I had to stop myself. At the movie, recently when me and Pew went to see, I was about to be like, let me just do one quick. And I was like, wait, if they go see it, I should just tell them, go see it. Why would I literally show the first 2 minutes of the, I'm like, I'm here to hang out with my boy and watch a film. Why would I then post the whole trip as if that's going to be like, Freddie Mac, I was watching you and G-Baby watch that new Marvel movie. I think I'm gonna buy tickets.
I be low key hurt.
No one does that.
I be low key hurt when people together and I'm not there. You know what I mean? I be low key hurt. Bro. You know what I mean? Like, y'all can't link up.
That happens all the time.
And not give it a link up. You know what I mean?
Put it out
we sent up the bat signal. We sent up the bat signal.
Bro, late.
Obey now.
Like, late. How many times I asked you to come ball with me? How many times? How many times I asked you to come ball with me? One person that came to ball with me, Freddie Mac. That's it. Just one. Just one. How many times?
I did get him to
I
a
don't
concert for free.
I can't. That's an hour and a half to play basketball.
You know why?
That's my bad. All right,
Pew, you know why we don't go? Pew, you know why we don't go? Because we old school.
Your knee hurt?
Got the sleeve.
Your knee hurt?
We don't wear all this stuff.
Look.
I don't have an NBA headband.
I can vouch for Gabe. He didn't wear all of that.
Right?
I didn't know he wore all that stuff.
I was like low key balling though, right? I was like semi balling, right?
How many
he wasn't even 100%.
Right?
How much he slipped you, bro? How many shots did he take?
I mean, I could probably count on one hand. Not a whole lot.
Look, bro, I'm different.
I was the dude
bro.
nobody knew in the gym. I think I shot more than Gabe.
I'm changed, bro. I'm changed.
I remember. So you ate D
Trust my
Roses.
instinct. No, bro.
Pickup
Trust
is
me, bro.
one passing shot at most.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
get one pass.
Bro,
I don't
trust
know
me.
who passed less, you or Melo. I still.
Melo should have a job. I just want to say Melo should have a job.
Fact.
If Gabriel McGann has Melo should have a job.
Bro,
Come
I
on.
know you ain't talking about me, bro.
Bro,
Because
if Gabe get picked
anytime
up,
Obey on the court, bro. First of all,
I've never played with Obey, so
bro,
let me
his
know.
regular shot is like Shaq's free throw, bro. His regular.
Oh,
right? Am I right?
oh,
right?
God.
Oh, bro.
Oh, on God.
On everything. On everything.
Oh, on
bro.
God.
Bro.
I gotta see this live, yo.
You passing the ball, he's right here on the Kupo in the post, bro. I'm like, you not that light. Why, bro?
Why? I want to know one thing.
out.
Why
I'm
wasn't
so
this ever on your Instagram
I'm
story?
so attacked.
I wasn't there. Why wasn't this on your Instagram story, yo?
Grade school.
It's like
I want to see this form now.
Right.
FOMO, for real. You got to put this on your Instagram so I can see what you were doing.
All right, let's.
So that's the culture we live in, though.
Yeah. So let's. I know we had something that we wanted to touch on before we forget.
Oh.
The Kanye album, right? This huge. You
You ready to talk about it?
bro. You got,
Okay.
I'm just gonna say.
Let's start
I'm gonna
off.
say it because I can say it. Cause Pew here, white people saying like everybody like in uproar, like on both sides of it,
Sure.
talking about, oh man, this is the greatest thing, and then you got people like saying it's blasphemous, it's terrible, and then you got both sides of the culture for minorities as well. And honestly, I'm on the side where I don't care.
Yo, if this is a
Both sides
publicity
annoy me,
stunt,
man.
Matter of fact, I'm like, I don't
oh,
care.
it's just like politics.
Yeah.
You're not gonna please anybody.
You're
Like,
not.
and
You
you
know
just,
what I mean?
you know what I'm saying. But however, I thought it was a decent album.
I thought
If this is what he's doing, if this is where he's at in his life, who am I to tell that man
Fact.
or to judge that guy
exactly
for what he's
where I'm
doing?
at. I don't- it
If
does
this is
not
what he
exist to
feel
me.
like,
yeah, fact.
I think.
hey,
I think
that's
How
on
you
him.
feel? Go
I think
ahead.
the thing for me is.
You making good music though. I mean,
Right,
Oh my
right.
gosh.
Yeah,
The production
always.
is on point.
I think
always.
with Ye's album,
Bro, I've been right.
I enjoyed it.
Look,
Is
day
it-
one.
Hey,
I'm a day one.
I got his Yeezys.
You know what I mean?
come on.
Show him.
Day one from the Turtle
Okay,
Dove.
so but here's my
Turtle
thing. Here's my
doves.
thing with Ye's album,
Boys.
and what looks at our culture is that it seems that, like with the president, some people cannot detach themselves to think clearly, right? So some people, if you hate Ye, it didn't matter if he had put the hottest gospel album since Kirk put out the
New Nation Project.
New Nation Project, which I think is one of the greatest, if not the greatest gospel. You want to talk about
What?
Yo, that whole
Riverside?
album,
Down by the
Down
riverside?
that album from cover to cover
Leave
was
the
tough.
troubles all behind.
I had that
Every
on compact
Sunday, bro.
disc, bro.
Yes.
Look that up,
On
kids.
replay.
It's one of those where
Something
you
about
insert
the name
it,
of Jesus.
you run it through,
go
you
through the
put
whole
it out,
thing.
and you flip it,
Right.
and you put it right
Oh,
back in.
yeah.
So if you hated Ye and he had put out a project greater than
Fact.
that, which I don't think that Jesus King is greater than that, but I think that Jesus King, for the artist that he is such an impactful
Yeah,
and
the influence and the platform that it came out
exactly
of.
exactly.
Kirk
And I think
Franklin
so- and
didn't
it's
have
pure.
that platform in a
Right,
way. Like
right,
he didn't have that audience.
But
rap.
this project was not meant to be, let me give you 12, 15 features. I think that what the reason, which usually what happens when Ye, puts out a project late, is that he's removing a lot of features, a lot of artists, a lot of people that should be on there. And I think that what he wanted was a pure album. Because I listened to his pastor talk, who's just, it's not Judah Smith. It's not, one of the Hillsong
We
pastors.
got a church of
Pastor
300.
out here.
It is a
church of
normal,
300.
like Wrangler jean. I shop at Ross. I
Chill.
probably had. I'm not even playing.
Don't
He
play
pro-
like that.
About this,
I think he,
Yeah, for
he
real,
was
for real.
talking like he had the NASB open
Yeah.
on the right,
Dang.
and had just said, "Oh, I got an interview. Let me close the word
Yeah.
and get in on this." So this is a
KJV?
very reformed pastor. Yes,
I mean, there's so much
Probably
substance into this album.
Right.
man. Like content
but
wise,
you
It's
can tell
good.
he-
it's
he's
so
good.
saturated.
But
It just cries me of like a new believer that
Right.
like, man, he just want to express himself of
Right.
what God means.
in the interview. He said that he had sat with Ye and went like
for
a
3
song
hours.
by song and said, change this, do this. So he has worked personally. So he had a pastor say, "Hey man, you gotta have to take this news verses out. This ain't.
Yeah.
Hey man, this ain't
biblically
biblically
accurate. Yeah.
So it's like I think what people have to realize is for those that hated him, you're gonna hate it. for those that love Ye, you obviously like it because he's never gonna put out a product that's not produced well and not like elite.
Not polished.
And then if you're in the middle, I think you really appreciate this album for what it is, which is his attempt at a true gospel album. Because remember, he told you The Life of Pablo was a gospel album, and we all went
Right.
Okay.
Just like Snoop told us he gonna do a gospel album, and it was a gospel album, but it was like trash.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of, like, I see my mother-in-law, my
Snoop.
mother sharing Jesus is King album like content. And I'm
Wow.
like, Mom, like what? And I'm asking to y'all, is it because the MAGA hat, or is it because the content of the album and the creativity?
It's the MAGA hat.
But for
And
some
that gets
people,
on my
it is.
nerves.
And
What?
some people, you're right though.
What?
People
Like,
are willing
I want
to
to make sure
share.
I understand your question.
That
That
people are
people-
willing to share. Is it that
It's
Jesus
almost
is
like we
made at
got
the
one.
forefront, or is like
We
okay,
got one.
Oh, Kanye is on my side. All right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
share it. You know what I'm saying? It's like that gets on
If
my
you
nerves
support
a little
him
bit.
politically, you probably loved
Right.
it more than you should have. If you don't
Yeah.
support him politically, you probably hated it more than you
Yeah,
should have.
exactly.
Like there were people that were crazy to me that I respect. It was actually going to be a friend of mine is going to come on the podcast, and we're going to do a Ye podcast, and then we're going to have another friend of mine do a Ye podcast, and we're going to just dive in musically and song by song and track by track, because I think what blows my mind is there are some people that I don't understand their take outside of it's a political thing.
Right.
Because I'm like, how are you listening to Selah and telling
They
me
can't separate their
it's
bias,
trash?
man. They can't.
And, you know, I'm
separate
like,
their bias.
trash is just disrespectful to this project. You could say it's not elite,
Right.
but again, it's his first attempt at a true gospel album.
This ain't the best Kanye album. Nobody's saying that. I hope so.
Nobody.
I hope not.
How can you win the first three? Again, here's also the thing too. We need to stop doing this thing. And I think it's a little bit of our culture coming into it. We the culture that always be like, when somebody puts out something like, man, it ain't as good as that. I'm like, bruh, that
We
was
quick
that.
to compare.
Right.
We quick to compare.
Our parents did not go to Michael Jackson like, you ain't done nothing like Thriller.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you ain't done Prince. I mean,
You
but
accept each project
as
each,
it is, and
each
we need-
piece of work as is. Like,
You
I
have
love
to.
this. There was no serious comparison.
You have
At least
to.
not that I know of. You have to. And this is what we love from artists. We love to know about where they are in their life, what they talk, what they're going through, what they're experiencing.
Right.
And that's exactly what he gave us. This is where he is in his life. Whether, hey, look, like I said before, whether this is real or not.
But that's
whether,
not-
whether
that's
he's
not
faking
us
or
on the
not.
side.
That's not on me. That's
be careful.
I'm not gonna judge that man. If somebody was to judge
I
me,
can
I'd
see
be in
the
a world of
fruit, though.
trouble, yo.
Exactly.
I can see the fruit though. Like
Yes.
as far as the content wise, I'm
it just
like,
it hits different.
because with Yeezus, like it made it about Kanye, but like I didn't feel that when I listened to this. It
And-
was really about
yeah,
God and making Jesus his name great. Like, and that was like
Yes.
so refreshing to me.
Yes.
And even if
I can
you're
listen to
not
Kanye
about
on the way to
that-
church now. Woo!
Right?
Yo.
I'm like, I can play this with my youth
now,
group
now, hey, and Pew,
Come on, hitting, right?
let the Saints know. Don't go past this project if you
Yeah,
don't know
guys.
If you don't know who Ye is,
Listen to the-
Pew, let the Saints know.
to the songs on the track. Listen to the songs on the track.
Because some
Yeah,
of
stay
y'all
here.
Stay in
hit
that
it on
album.
shuffle,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it
They
left
go-
that
Yeah,
album,
yeah.
and you said,
Yeah.
"Oh, wait,
That's facts. Once you, because it only take like 20-something minutes to get through the album. When
Yeah,
that joint go
27
to artists related to Kanye,
I had
related
friends
music.
be like, Little Pump, wait,
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah.
what is this?
I like it.
I
Right.
like.
Whoa.
Hit different.
Wait, you're such
It's a gospel
a.
song too.
That was as far as we know, that was a different place. That was a different place in Kanye's
Wait,
life, different time in his
wait a
life.
minute.
But I think that's so real though, because people feel like there's so much hypocrisy in the church, and how like you gotta be. Obviously, this is probably like a cliche statement, but that everyone's in the church has to be perfect or like imbued as like has this holier than thou mentality. But I feel like his road is so real because it's like the Saul to Paul like movement. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm not.
No, but-
There's no comparison.
But for those Ye
It's a-
head, us Ye heads,
Right.
Yeah.
we see,
Right.
we all four of us have followed this man
Right.
Oh, from the beginning.
from the
Right,
beginning,
yeah, right.
And so we understand. Like, what you're saying is not that the people that are going to
Right,
get upset
right,
about this.
right.
Listen to what this man's saying. Look at
Right.
who he was.
Right.
Like Paul was a murderer of Christians. He
Yeah.
hated Christians. Ye has said in recent interviews, I was an atheist when I made that song Lil Pump. When I made Yeezus, I saw myself as a god. So it's now confirmed. He saw
He said
himself.
that in this album, he said the devil had my soul. That's
Yeah.
what he
So
said.
like, so Gabe, make that point, but like, let people understand.
Yeah.
Don't get him in the
Right,
messages. Be
right.
like, you trying to make him seem like this king. Like, you know how people be with Trump. Like, he reminds me of, stop.
Right. Yo,
Stop.
He ain't Moses.
Stop. If he Moses,
You gonna lead us into the promised land? Who?
Bro, stop, bro.
Right.
People just dumb.
It throws me.
Bro,
It throws me.
Like,
It throws me
politics
off.
is just another animal on the,
you know, he really reminds me of David.
Bro,
Whoa.
do he though? Do he?
King David.
Bro.
That's funny.
Maybe Bathsheba.
That's
Maybe Bathsheba.
that's funny. It ain't facts though.
I don't think Melania hit like
Nah,
Bathsheba.
nah.
Hey, 98 Melania.
Stop.
I don't think she hit like that.
I'll play it.
Yo.
I should have said that.
He killed his main man for her, though. You know what
Wow.
We don't know
You
who
know what I'm
Melania is
saying?
1.1 when he met her at that club.
I'm saying? Would Trump
Jeez.
roll on Giuliani
Hey.
for Melanie?
Hey, also
That's the
real.
question.
No one ever talks about how I met her at a club and then she was with me on the flight back. I'm like, hey, fam, like her family, everything she knew.
Lord have mercy.
Society right now is crazy, bro. Everything is intertwined with politics. Everything.
I don't think that's healthy.
It's not
I think it's
healthy.
so toxic.
It's so dumb.
Because
and there's so many layers to how I feel about like politics in general.
Yeah.
Like for personally, for the culture, for society, because I
Yeah.
think there's different variables of how it can react.
Yeah.
Like or how it should be. But
Yeah.
like
But I think what we have to be careful is, listen, like I've heard people say this, and I don't agree with it, that we need to stop being so tribal. And you need to realize, first off, we are tribal. It's just period. Like, we build communities within communities. We as Christians understand, not everybody gets on Noah's ship. Not everybody going to heaven. So I think we have to be careful when we say everybody must agree. Everybody must be 100%.
100%.
Like, I don't understand this concept. Like,
that's not
like,
real.
no, like if you conservative and you liberal,
Facts.
both of you disagree at that.
Right.
Who is going to pay
Right.
for X thing
Right.
that's going to help
Right.
someone?
Right.
It's a foundational
Exactly.
issue.
And that's
So
where
it's-
compromise is. You know?
Exact-
And that's where that
exactly.
That's where that little avenue lies. And that's the problem right now. There's no compromise.
Yes.
That's the issue.
Yeah, I
That's
can't
no
different
coming
than
up to
tribal.
I give an inch. I'm
Right.
validating them.
Right.
Like,
Now
it's-
tribes work together. That's how you survive.
Exactly.
So we have to work together. Don't
Exactly.
misconstrue my words.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like this concept of like we all gotta agree. I'm like, no. Listen, I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
All four of us here are Christians. My whole team are Christians. So the product that we are producing has a foundation that it has to be a certain standard, right?
Right.
But I think that it gets crazy when people say, okay, obey, but then you gotta support somebody that says, hey, if you 4 years old,
Exactly.
you can have a sex change. Hey, anybody can do any drugs or do anything at any time.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, because I'm held to this standard, there could be some things I just don't rock with.
Right,
And that's you can do it if you want.
That's cool.
And
I just don't rock with
honestly,
it.
I'm gonna go a stretch further. I think it's aside from my faith. Like I think people attack us because it's like, all right, well, your faith is wrong, type situation. Like because you believe X, Y, and Z, like your religion is holding you to this, and the religion is making you do this. Sometimes I'm just talking basic science.
Right.
Just the basics of human anatomy.
Right.
Not what my pastor taught me growing up, what my biology teacher told me growing up. You know what I mean?
Right.
What y'all, you know what I mean? I wasn't raised in a Christian school. I went to a regular old public school.
Me too.
Like,
That's right.
you know what I mean? Like public school rocking.
No
What you
Awana
taught-
over here.
Exactly. What you taught me in human anatomy. So for the most times, I'm talking about basic stuff that you taught me. Now, that doesn't mean I need to be ignorant and not be like, I guess, politically correct or like if you tell me you want to be somebody else, I'm gonna be as respectful as I can
Right.
to you.
Mhm.
Like,
That's
I'm
how
not-
you feel.
Yeah, that's how you
Okay.
feel. That's how you are. But when you dictate and be like, nah, this is truth.
And I have
Period.
to
I
adhere.
must.
Like I have to allow my kids to do this.
Right.
It's
right.
like no. See, that's where I think that the church needs to be okay
Right.
with being flipping tables
Right.
and saying, all right, this is where I think we're done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think at some point we have to understand we ain't going to be liked.
Right.
So if you go do the Jerry Falwell thing and tie you to somebody and say, hey, I'm tying myself to President Trump in this politics, I think you have to understand it like, okay, if you go do that, but remember the foundation that you're coming from. Because when they asked Jesus, hey man, what about this taxes? Like, You talk about like people that are overtaxed, that were abused, and he got a tax collector with him, and he said, "Man, pay your taxes. Like it's not about that.
Pay to Caesar what is Caesar's."
Yeah.
Like because he didn't want to jump into politics. They've tried to get him in. Hey, why don't you have your people do these things versus these things? He didn't even jump in. So it's like when we jump in as Christians, I just hope that we remember our foundation, where we're coming from, and that we have to remind ourselves that like when we get into this politics thing, it does not make the other side evil. It does not make the other side, something terrible, and it does not make us right if we're conservative or right if we're liberal.
Right.
So this intersection of faith and politics can be good, but if I'm a Christian and I support A, B, C, or D, whatever politically, I gotta tie that to scripture.
Yeah. Right. What's the my question is to y'all, what is the hill y'all are willing to die on? Because I get the concept, and I hope that I have like compassionate hearts for people that have other beliefs than me, and I want them to know that I hear them. But there's certain things I think as Christians that we should, like I might push back, but I'm not gonna be pushed any further. Like what you were saying, like,
right?
This is
like at what point do we say?
What point do you say
it's time to be like, oh, okay? Because I think the church in America, we've experienced a great couple centuries of peace, and we don't realize at some point the world comes back, the culture comes back, and they say,
A part of me though is like,
you gonna let this happen or not?
Yeah, a part of me is like, bro, I don't really care what you trying to do. Like, just live your life.
Right.
Do what you want to do. Like, it don't really.
So it don't libertarian.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's
like,
a libertarian.
Like, I don't really care that you want to live your life a certain way. Ain't got nothing to do with me.
But what about when they say
it doesn't infringe.
They want to make you? They're like, no, you gotta allow this in your household.
Right.
But that's different. Like that's different. That's a different
pronouns.
Step. Because look, first of all, let me tell you something. Can't nobody in this room make me do that. You know what I mean? You can ask. You can
see what I say.
Exactly.
But do you think we're on the path that in a couple years you're going to be in jail for no one's going to make me?
Now that's different. That's now you're stripping away.
Yeah, that's totally against everything America's supposed to stand on.
That's saying that,
but that's reality though.
That's a reality.
If you look at the climate,
it's a reality. If we're taking away the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, like if we're taking away our basic civil rights that we have as just basic human beings.
Okay.
If we omit those, of course, if we're living in a world where one person can say you must do this, we're not in the United States of America anymore. We're not. We're in a dictatorship. We're not in a democracy anymore.
Okay.
We're in a democracy, so people are asking, or that like, hey, can you be more respectful, or can you invite these things in your home? But in a democracy, we can say, nah. Like, I'm gonna live my life the way I want to live my life.
Is.
You can live your life the way you want to live your life.
Right.
You can riot. You can do just the same way.
Right.
The same way the dude there's a video that came out. The dude is chopping up a deer in the front window, butchering it, and the people are outside rioting not to eat meat. And the dude,
so that's you.
Hanging it.
That's you.
He said, "You got the right to do that. I got the right to do this."
Okay.
It's their belief. Like, you do what you want. I ain't got no problem
with it. But what Pew's
it.
point is, Gabe,
they want to silence you.
What happens?
That's
when they knock on the door?
Now you take away my freedom of speech.
So what do you do then?
That's different. Now we in different times.
Okay.
Now we no longer in a democracy.
So what are you gonna do at that point?
If we are no longer in the United States, obviously I'm gonna fight for the United States.
Take up arms?
Right.
That 9 mil?
I'm gonna have to take up my 9. I'm gonna have to. Because now you're infringing on my ability,
right?
My choice to be an American citizen. What makes us America?
And to believe what I want,
great.
and say what I want.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I'm in my house.
Does politics have a?
I pay my taxes.
Okay. So then,
you know what I mean?
So then, does politics have a place in faith? There's like the Jerry Falwell thing where it's like, or the
I think it's too deep.
Not Billy Graham, his son, that's into politics.
I think
Franklin
faith has
Graham.
overstepped. I think faith has overstepped to a degree.
So too much politics and faith.
Of course, I think it's too deep in there. We're calling everybody to live by this standard that we live by, that we own, we take responsibility of, and people who don't know Jesus, who don't know nothing about Scripture, and we're calling them to that. They don't mean nothing to them. It means
they don't know anything.
They don't know. It means everything to us. I cannot say to somebody that don't believe to live by this, and they don't know nothing about it.
Right.
That's I feel like our faith has overstepped in. Not everywhere. In some parameters have overstepped in. And I'm not gonna say I'm
got
not,
you creating laws based on biblical principles that people don't adhere to.
Correct. Like they don't know nothing about. Like I think if we're gonna stand on the fact that everyone should have their own choice of the way to live their life, like I have the ability. I'm not saying what it is right now is refuting the fact that, or refuting the ability for me to go to somebody who doesn't know Jesus to tell them about Jesus. We're fighting that. We're creating this place where we can't do that anymore. We are creating that.
Yeah.
So because of the climate
we
that
believe
we're in,
the truth is going to win out. Like
exactly. So let the truth be. Like
Right.
let it be freedom. You can live your life, you can live how you want to live. But you like I'm gonna be on a small touchy subject is legalization of homosexual marriage.
Okay.
Ain't do nothing to my ability to be a believer or present you the gospel.
Got you.
Nothing. Why am I fighting that?
That's true.
Why? Ain't got nothing to do with me.
True.
They deserve the same basic rights.
This is a real question. Can you refuse now to DJ a?
Of course I can.
Same-sex?
I can.
They
It's my
don't.
right.
They don't. They
It's
going
my
after
right.
cake shops though.
It's
What's
my
the
right.
difference?
And that's
What's
what
the
I'm saying.
difference?
It is a big difference because now it's.
But that's what I'm saying.
Because
Being passive and I'm not saying like that it has to happen, that they have to
Right,
follow by this
right,
book.
yeah, like
I'm more libertarian in that. But when they're saying you're going to be penalized, we're going to take away
Then
from
they're-
your business
then they're
because you're not
overstepping.
recognizing this legitimate.
It's because
marriage.
the United States have taken too much of a stance, where as opposed to staying neutral, they have now voiced a side of an opinion, or at least it's maybe 50-50. I'm not going to stretch and say 60-40. Let's say 50-50. They've took a stance on something, so now this one side is holding them to the stance and to the side that they've spoken up against. So it means now, if you took such a hard stance about this, if you're against it,
right.
now I'm attacking a business, attacking a person. I ain't got nothing wrong with homosexual marriage,
right?
Whatever it is. I'm just saying I do reserve the right to say no to anything. Like if I don't like you, I don't want to do your wedding. If we have bad meetings,
And some people can't handle that.
yeah, some people can't handle that. We ain't got nothing to do with your personal belief. Ain't got nothing. If I don't vibe with you, I reserve the right. As a
Or if I'm not confident in my ability,
confident,
you don't
or if I'm
equate-
not confident in my abilities.
If I tell you no,
Yeah.
I can't DJ your wedding, or I can't provide you this service, or whatever it don't really matter what my reasons are, unless I'm telling you like, you gay, I ain't doing it.
Right.
That's I don't need to say all of that.
Yeah.
But I have every right to not do it if that's what I choose to do
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
And I completely agree. I'm just playing
Yeah,
devil's
it's got
advocate
to.
because
Got to.
it's at the doorstep.
Yeah,
like
it is.
It's coming.
And I think
these conversations are going to be had.
Sure.
And it has. I think there's only happened like once or twice where it's been asked me, and I wanted to make sure when I communicated to this person
Wasn't
that
offensive or
that
anything.
that not even just that was offensive. I generally couldn't do it. Like it wasn't. I was already booked, but I
Right.
wanted to make sure that this person still felt like
taken care of.
Right.
and
Yeah.
and loved.
Treated
It's
fairly.
still a
And treated
person
fairly.
made in
Right.
the image of God,
Yeah,
and they deserve
absolutely.
The church
I
could do
so wish
so
I
much
could be
better
there for
doing
you.
that, man.
Absolutely,
Right.
I can so be there for you. Like I feel like this. I mean, obviously, it's such a sensitive issue, and I feel like we've taken a wrong angle or direction about it. And for a lot of parts, not everybody. I think a lot of people are doing it. Doing their best. But it's up to me to at least do my part and show love to this person who I wish
That's what
I
we're
could be
called
there
to do.
for. Yeah, that's what we're called to do.
That's where it
Got nothing to
starts.
do- Yeah, that's where it starts.
Absolutely.
You know?
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
By the way, I've never done one, but
Yeah.
I'd be open to doing a homosexual.
Yeah.
I just haven't done one.
Yeah.
The one I got asked to do one, I was booked
I was
already.
already booked. Yeah.
What? I just want to put that out there. That's your choice.
Freddie Mac, protect the brand. Protect the brand.
I just want to put that
Freddie
out
Mac
there.
just want to be put it
I
out
was giving an
there.
example a couple minutes ago. I didn't want to sound like I was saying one thing.
Our company has done too.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Right. So, as we
Moving on.
I love everybody, yo. That's what we call
You can cut it.
No,
You
for
can
real.
cut it, splice it.
I know what
whatever
you're
you
saying,
want it.
but that's what we call to do. Show love.
That's right.
Show
You know what I'm
love.
saying? Show
Show
love.
love. Yeah.
I don't have to disrespect you.
Facts.
Be like, oh, I don't believe in all
Facts.
of that. I don't think that's right. That ain't none of my business
It
to
ain't
a
none of
certain
my business.
extent.
It ain't on me to do that.
Right.
I must show love.
For
Period.
me, marriage, especially after going to Israel, is a very religious act. And so, personally, for me and my company, my brand, we will always do business with anyone that has a variety of things I don't agree with. But when it comes to the intimate act of DJing someone's wedding and representing that and celebrating that, I would abstain on religious grounds. But if it's like, you gay, you want to do a party? I'm there, fam. Let me DJ
Right.
that for sure.
Have you ever done one?
No. I've had 2 or 3 people reach out, and I just have been booked, and that's like with all 3 of us. Also,
just so happened to be-
for those listening,
yeah.
sorry we
Available.
so booked. Like we just do a really good job, so you should so get in
Facts.
early.
Early.
You know,
Stop waiting till the last minute.
Also, my homie and good friend Pew does do weddings now. Come on now, let him
Yeah.
marry y'all up.
What's up?
Oh, officiating?
He said, "Listen,
Yeah.
just slide him a couple hunchos,
For real.
free food and gas. Come on, take care of your boy."
Let me get a plate.
You know
That's
what I'm
it.
saying?
Hey,
Like,
Let me get a plate.
You gonna
That's
pray
all.
at dinner too?
That's it. I'll pray.
Right.
For real.
Get that plate.
Bring the Lord.
Fact.
But yeah, I just think that like when it comes to that, I want people that are listening to this that disagree with me or think differently than me, please come to the table, come do a pod,
Absolutely. You gotta talk about
or
And they're first and foremost, their love. First
yeah,
and
yeah. Like,
foremost.
it's not out of like there are people that do things for me because I believe things are different than them, you know, and I have to understand that. And I think what's crazy when you travel, I encourage the young people, you know, to take that chance to take these traveling trips to see other cultures, because some of these conversations that we get so heated about ain't that deep. Overseas
They
in
ain't
different
talking
cultures.
about this. And for what?
For what?
They ain't
You
talking
know,
about
it's,
any
it's
of
a
this.
set thing. So it's just like
Yeah, it is what
open
it
your
is.
perspective. Open your
Right.
perspective and understand
Right.
that like it's okay for me and you to disagree, and on religious grounds, you know, I may not want to smoke weed with you or do something with you. It's just like I don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
It's the
Like,
same thing, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to strip club with you. Like it's just like
Yeah,
you know, for some people that's like a very in Atlanta, that's like a cultural thing.
Yeah.
It just ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But so as we wrap this thing up, and this has been such a good pod, and I really appreciate y'all coming through.
Absolutely.
As y'all think about our generation and you know what's to come and where the culture's heading, you know, what would y'all say to someone who's listening right now? You know, we're actually blessed to be close to 1,000 plays this podcast in about I think like 20, 30 some countries. So it's crazy.
Nice.
So around the world, some people listening, right?
Congratulations.
1 or 2, you know.
Hey,
In Iceland.
Hey, that's all right. That's
Plug
all
it in.
right.
So as they listen to, you know, G Baby, Freddie Mac, or, you know, Pew, what would y'all say to them? And if you could see yourself in that crowd, so if you could see that 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old, 15-year-old, 14-year-old, 13, 12, what would you say to them as they have listened to this and, you know, heard from their elder millennials and heard some wisdom to take with them, some things to realize on the journey ahead? Hey, you know, be mindful of social media. Be mindful of your authenticity and your core. Find your true self. We would say in the gospel, but if you want to find that in other ways, all power to you. Be okay with failure because it's going to happen. You're going to get hit in the face, and also things are not going to go right, you know? Lastly, when you're looking at, you know, your future and everything that is going on with your life, and you're thinking about what to do, where to go, you know, who to be. If I could start and leave anything to those people that just came to my head, and I can think back to myself, 1, I need you to deeply understand that it is vitally important that you love yourself and who you are, because there will be no one ever like you in this world. So whatever giftings and talents that God has given you, use them. Be okay with dropping some, doing some, and realizing some are just for the hobbies and some are actually passions that you can make money, and then use that to bless not only your family but other people. And then if I could leave a second nugget to that person, you must be okay on this journey that you are on with being open to it being windy and changing directions, and it may not go the way you have planned. So I would suggest not necessarily having a plan, but being gracious with each day that you have and attacking it day in and day out, with the focus being on the future, but attacking it day in and day out. And whatever plan that you have, just being open for it not going the way you thought it was going to go. Because I thought I'd be married by now. I thought I'd be wealthy by now. I thought I'd be in the NFL by now. And I thought that a lot of things that happened to me wouldn't have happened. But I realized through counseling and prayer and great accountability and great friends that for me to become the obey that God has for me, I had to go through this journey. And so you got to be open, because if you close fist that plan, and life hits you with it, that's where you get all these things of anger, depression, sadness, anxiety, and you don't need that. So that would be me. So if anybody else wants to pick that up.
I think for a young guy, like you're talking about, like
Guy or
coming out
girl?
of high school, or young officer, I think finding a good group of people is like key. Finding a good community like that hold you through. Most key element is like your mentorship. Like, do not count out. Like, find somebody that not necessarily that you want to be like. Obviously, that's great. As someone that you like look up to is phenomenal. But I think finding somebody that's just doing it, like at least let's say on minimum on papers, like doing it better than you are, being somewhere where you want to be, like whether it be in life or emotionally, like mentally, and like have a core group of mentors. Like I feel like mentorship for me has been like a key element. I always check with my mentor, shout out to Papa Miracle with, something that I want to do, like just to chop it up, to see like, hey, like, is this possible? Am I in the right mindset? Or somebody that can check you, like J. Pugh, like always keeps me accountable. I have a deep passion for business and finance and, being successful. And he's always there to check me and be like, make sure you're keeping your core beliefs like intact, like your foundation is true. Like if this is your calling from God, like how are you interweaving Christ into your business to make sure like it stays at the roof? Have somebody that's willing to check you on it and at any given day basis. Like I think that's a key element to knowing. Just I guess being humble is the nicest way to say to think, but it's deep. I think it's deeper than being humble. It's just like you're not at the top. You're not the best. Like always be learning, always be growing, always be experiencing, always be open, perspectively open, and like live your life. Like it ain't everybody's business ain't your business. Like just be so willing to learn and grow, and sky's the limit from there if you open for that. So yeah.
I think what I would have to say to that is, speaking to a guy or girl in high school or speaking to myself, pursue what is real. Like I think there's so many times there are mirages and something that is counterfeit out there, and that if you have a heart for the truth and surrounding yourself by real people that will invest in you and pour into you and challenge you, that's worth its weight in gold. I also think of just my calling on my life. I think of I want to invest in things that are eternal, and what I view as eternal is the souls of men and women and God's word. Those are the only two things that are going to last forever. This table, this house, that car you're thinking you're dreaming of, that's not eternal. Invest in people, invest in relationships. And I hope that if you have a heart that actually wants to seek truth, it's found in God's word. It's found in the person of Jesus. And it took me 26 years to figure out that that's what I wanted to base my life about. And I think that, to Gabe's point, you can interweave the principles and truths that God has taught you, the talents and abilities of Freddie Mac and Obey and Gabe. Like, y'all are so talented. But I challenged you on the way over here. Invite God into that process. Like if it's just based on you, it's going to burn up. It's not going to be eternal. But if you're doing it in the realm of with your eyes fixed on, man, I want this to impact people that I love. I want people that maybe never will hear the name of G Baby Obey again and be like, man, there was something different about him. Like, and I think that if you don't involve your core beliefs, God's word, your relationship with Jesus in the process, it's so easy to rest on your own laurels and be like, I got this. And you'll look back and be like, man, where was that substance? And I think that for me, it's with eyes fixed on my relationships with people around me and God's word. Like I want God to be a part and look back and say, people to look at me and speak highly of God and not highly of Josh Pugh. And that's my heart.
Dang.
Close us out, Freddie Mac. Close us out.
I don't know how I can. That's amazing for all three of y'all, man. You kind of took a lot of the words out of my mouth. I agree with everything that everybody's been saying too. I want to throw that in there. Those that are on the path of graduating or in college or whatever, trying to decide what you want to do for your career, especially if you're at the beginning, you got a blank canvas. You can be anything that you want to be. The sky is truly the limit, especially with the day and age. I know we talked about the good and the bad things of social media and things of that nature. There's limits to everything and there's balance in life and all of that, but you can be anything you want to be. There's a lot of free marketing out there to market a business or a skill, a talent, or whatever it may be. But find out what you're passionate about early.
Yeah.
Spend your time instead of spending all your parents' money or spending all your money or whatever your situation is, figure out, sit alone with yourself and get in your own head. Look yourself in the mirror, figure out, what can I do? What do I like to do? What am I passionate about? What do I love? And go after it. Because nobody can stop you but you and God. God can say, no, that's not the path I have for you. And you change up and you switch it up right, when the time comes, when and if the time comes. But other than that, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Word.
That's great.
Yeah.
Gosh, man. I love y'all.
Love you too, man.
Love you too, bro.
Same, bro.
And I appreciate you guys for this. This blessed me. And I hope Sojourners, you've been blessed. Thank y'all for coming in. I needed this podcast, and I hope that you needed it, and I hope that you enjoyed the laughter, the wisdom. I hope you gleaned some wheat from the chaff, and hope y'all have a blessed day. So this is Obey, just kind of signing off. Thank y'all so much. Thank you to my team, and till next time. See y'all.
See ya.